Hey guys, this Friday, March 8th, we'll be launching our official clothing brand, Can't Fold. We'll be back with new designs, faster shipping, and guaranteed quality. Can't Fold is not just a name, it's a mindset and a way of life. We truly believe in Can't Fold and everything that it stands for. Make sure to go to can'tfold.com today and put in your email to get important information and news updates.
Good news, Nikki Haley has dropped out of the presidential race.
Hell, bozo.
I wonder how much she made off of her campaign.
Hell, bozo. You see, she still didn't endorse Trump when she dropped out?
I thought she did.
Hell no, she didn't. She said never Trump. She's a damn
insane.
Democrat.
She's not a Republican.
She's a
We
Democrat.
knew that already, though. Vivek exposed that one.
He exposed. You know, today I was listening to the end of the George Janko, Candace Owens, and she was like, they were saying something about like, would you ever run? And she was like, I would never, this and that. She was like, unless like someone who's like, she was like, I would run for VP if someone like I really believed in was gonna run for president. She said, and you know what? She said, I love Vivek Ramaswamy.
That's the
She said, I
Ramaswamy.
absolutely loved everything he said.
We
She
all
said-
do.
She said,
We have
like,
to get him in
like,
there, guys. We
basically,
have
if he
to.
ran, like she would go on his
We
team.
have to get him in there.
That
If y'all love
would be a
Candace,
squad.
oh, that would be a major squad, guys. If y'all love Candace, y'all
Full of
go for it
diversity.
in about 2028. But yeah, this is definitely a dub for Trump. I don't see the old man debating Trump, but I mean, it looks like that's the only option.
That's gonna be funny.
I don't think he's gonna. Like, it does not make sense for him to get up there, bro.
Well, he tried to debate with somebody and he said, you got to get out the room. I'm going to get in trouble.
What if he gets up there and just start cooking? That would be hilarious.
Boy, you look like he's coming with a bolt of energy.
Oh, well, Joe Biden. That's what I'm talking about, Joe Biden.
I know.
That
I'll
messed
be
me up.
crying.
I'm talking about he don't stutter one time. That should be hilarious.
You know he going to hit
They gave him a couple lines from his son.
so,
He got up there and was
If
ready.
Nikki Haley dropped out, we might as well wrap this up, man. Let's just go ahead and put Trump in there. But you never know.
Trump going to say, man, he off of crack right now like his son.
But I seen this stat. I'm sorry, it was so funny, but I don't know what state it was. It said like I think 92% Trump, 6% Joe Biden. I was like, oh,
I saw this guy.
God.
I saw this guy tweeting about how many states Joe Biden won versus how many Obama won, and like how many votes they got. Joe Biden is running against nobody. Like, you really think this is a flex? Like, these people are legitimately stupid. Like, no offense.
Well, some states
I don't think you're stupid if you vote Democrat, but just trying to prop stuff up like that, you're actually stupid.
After this Trump victory, I can't imagine an MSNBC panel. After that, let's see what happened. Let's get into it. I know we got our enemy on here. Joy Reid.
We are inching closer to a general election rematch between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Now, in terms of fundraising, the Democrats currently have a financial advantage over the Republicans. Joe Biden started the year with $46 million on hand compared to Trump's $33 million.
See, hold on, though. See how they just come out the blue with a Democratic dub? I'm sorry. All right, come on, man.
Match between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Now, in terms of fundraising, the Democrats currently have a financial advantage over the Republicans. Joe Biden started the year with $46 million on hand compared to Trump's $33 million. Here's some news, though. Perhaps that imbalance will not last for long. Check out this scoop from the New York Times tonight. You see the headline there. Donald Trump seeking cash infusion meets with Elon Musk.
Elon tweeted he's not donating to any of
that
them.
Donald Trump met with Elon Musk and also a few other wealthy Republican donors. Seeking a cash infusion to support his campaign. That was within the last few days. That was reportedly over the weekend. According to the Times, Trump is now hoping to have a one-on-one meeting just with Elon Musk, who reportedly has been saying that he believes it is, quote, essential to defeat Joe Biden in November, quoting the New York Times there.
That one.
Elon Musk, of course, is one of the two richest people on earth. He could single-handedly erase any financial advantage Democrats might have heading into the general election in
Jeff
November.
Bezos, come through for us.
If he decided to, and if he
Jeff
wanted to play it
Bezos,
that
woman,
way,
sending out everything.
What would that mean for
Her money,
what
not
happens
his ex-wife.
with the world and the Republic?
And we're sure that money is not to pay Donald Trump's legal bills.
Nobody.
Who the hell?
But it can. And when we all sit here and go, oh my gosh, Donald Trump owes $83 million on E. Jean Carroll, he owes $400 million here, and we say he doesn't have that money, guess what? Whether it's Elon Musk or all sorts of other supremely wealthy forces out there, they would be happy to pay the bills for someone who could be the next president.
Yeah,
Elon Musk
owns the president of the United States.
He hates the FTC. And how much would he like it if he then owned the president?
Trump? Yes, I mean, this is, let's go back
That's
to
a little excessive.
Citizens
You
United
shut
and
up,
Mitch McConnell
lady.
and John Roberts, who have crafted the universe in which we operate, who have brought us to a position where the richest billionaire out of
McConnell's still alive?
Yeah, he actually just resigned from his position.
Oh,
but he did endorse Trump.
I thought he was.
Mitch
A lot
McConnell.
I saw people were slandering him for how long it took him to endorse Trump.
That's the guy that be freezing up. I thought he was no longer with us.
Oh. No, he definitely just resigned recently. You know there's drinking that.
He's actually worse than Joe Biden. But that's the guy that went on stage and froze up. It was the guy that went on stage and froze up. You remember that? Oh, it was bad.
They said he pooped
dude with
on
the glasses.
I'm just like, guys, actually, I know he's with
He hit this big.
Yeah, he hit
They said he pooped on himself.
They put him and Joe Biden together. That's a that's a nursing home.
Is he gonna have Kamala as his
VP? Did y'all see that interview where they asked Joe Biden questions?
Boy.
He was like, chill with the questions, I'm gonna get in trouble.
He said mermaid and barnacle.
Did you see that?
Boy.
And Mitch McConnell and John Roberts, who have crafted the universe in which we operate, who have brought us to a position where the richest billionaire out of it's like an 1890s Gilded Age cartoon in a newspaper, and the corrupt president, desperately in need of cash, have a meeting. And what is either the explicit or implied quid pro quo in that interaction? Musk has tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars of government contracts with the Pentagon through SpaceX. He has unbelievable amounts of interest in regulatory affairs. He's currently suing to get rid of the National Labor Relations Act of the New Deal to destroy unions across the board and render them unconstitutional. That is a current lawsuit he has filed onto. Think about the sheer ROI, return on investment, of an investment, and it is so shocks the conscience that this would even be possible. And it's only possible, again, because of Mitch McConnell, because of the Roberts Court and the MAGA Court, that you could even be in a position where you have such an obviously corrupt setup.
Chris, Tesla is the only car manufacturer that is allowed to sell directly to consumer. Because one of the biggest, strongest lobbies in this country is car dealership owners, right? So the fact that he could back Donald Trump, the fact that he could pay his bills and then be able to push Donald Trump around, giddy up. That's an easy one for him.
And by the way, he controls Starlink, which is critical to the defense of Ukraine and to the U.S. defense establishment. This guy could be the J.P. Morgan of the current era. He would literally own a desperate, fearful man. I sat and watched 7 minutes of Donald Trump speaking from what looked like his basement the other day. Donald Trump is afraid. He's afraid of going to prison. He's afraid of losing everything that he built in New York, well, that his dad built, and that he borrowed money from the Russians or whatever. He failed at business.
Borrowed money from the what?
He could be saved right now. All he needs is a billionaire like Elon Musk who wants to own him, and then he gets to be president, and he gets to dismiss all his cases.
So y'all basically saying my dog.
You see how they trying to say he's shit? They trying to say he's scared. He's about to win. Y'all scared.
Joe Biden's a puppet. Jordan Reed, you already got hot mic. Why is she even on the panel still?
Look,
why are they acting like,
real quick, bro? If Elon Musk even if he said he's not donating, but even if he was to donate to Trump's campaign, he couldn't control him once he's the president because he has no leverage because he's not going to get reelected because he's already did 4. So
no, they're saying he would be controlling him because Trump would be indebted to him.
But he'll be like, "What you gonna do? Whoop my ass? You can't control what I'm gonna do. I'm the president."
I actually almost punched through the camera. I was gonna have a rage moment on the reaction.
Well, that's why people lobby because they're paying because you have their interest in mind. That's what they're alluding to.
So it's but you technically they can't make you do anything. You can take them, you can hold them. They're not gonna do it again. You're not gonna get reelected. But if you're not trying to get reelected anyways,
we already know what type of
you know why they're pandering this hard and trying to prop this up as something that we should be afraid of? It's because they know Trump is gaining momentum. Their only shield that could derail his campaign failed epically. Nobody was gonna vote for Nikki Haley. It was never gonna happen. Now they're like,
Fannie Willis folded.
Trump he's scared. He's gaining momentum. He's about to beat Joe Biden. We're scared. Trump is scared. And Elon Musk is bad because he's rich. And he met with Trump. And he's bad because he's rich and owns all these things. And now he's going to endorse MAGA Trump. And we're in trouble. No, y'all wrong. We see through this crap. We know that you guys are actually the scared ones because y'all know that Trump is gaining momentum and that the real is about to prevail.
It's over.
It's not over.
Republican Party, he won. So, I mean,
he hasn't won. He needs 220 more delegates. So now that Nikki Haley's dropped out, he'll probably get those 220 delegates.
Who's going to go against him? Who can beat him?
I'm just saying, technically, if we're speaking on a literal level, he hasn't won yet.
I know, but he won.
Yeah.
He won.
You're right.
Joe Biden ain't got nothing for him. This is a dub, guys. But
see, but they're trying to get it to where these illegals can vote. Sure. They're trying to make it seem where the American people shouldn't be outraged by these illegals. We should. I think
they're gonna have
black
invalid
people
votes.
at the helm of this should be at the helm of this. You know, the people who are saying that we should accept the illegals and be okay with all the crap that's going on, I feel like those are the most out of touch people. I feel like those are the people who are not really paying attention to what's going on.
More out of touch than them, though.
Well,
Really?
I feel like it's some people that really like, oh,
The
we
trans
need to
people
help
are more
them.
out of touch than anyone to me.
In my opinion, I don't even focus on that crap. That's not even at the top of my list of problems. It's a problem.
It's a big problem.
It's a problem, but it's not at the top of my list of
Some
problems.
people
What is it
believe.
called with the day that the person we figure out the person that won the election? Like what day? What's that called?
That's in November.
I know, but is it a day? Is it called?
I only
Either
know
way,
that
we're gonna
inauguration
be
day.
live,
Election
guys.
day?
We're live election day, guys. You better be here. We are lit in the chat, guys.
That's gonna be
Y'all have to turn up in the chat.
So we're gonna
guys.
sit on there and watch it on live for hours.
It
takes a
does-
few
it
hours.
does take a few hours.
It takes a few
About
hours.
that last couple, you know.
I
right
watched the last two elections
Oh,
with
if
Joe
Joe
Biden
Biden wins,
I've actually watched multiple. I watched them before I watched Obama.
If Joe Biden wins, y'all.
I remember my
Hey,
family
nah.
was so happy when Obama won the second time. I was a young child. I was under the impression of my parents that that's something I should be happy about.
If Joe Biden wins,
I'ma cry
I don't know,
live.
bro. Yeah, I don't. We gotta do something absurd though.
If Joe Biden wins, guys,
I'm
we're
pushing
in
a hole
trouble.
through the for sure the door, but
someone outside and cry.
I might actually be upset, but I don't think it'll happen. God
It's gonna be like when Katie
is with us.
money from the Russians or whatever after he failed at business.
She's
But
hating.
he could be saved
You're a
right
hater.
now. All
Trump
he
has a
needs is a billionaire like Elon Musk who wants to own him.
And to be president.
And then he gets to be president and he gets to dismiss all his cases. Boom. He's
Why
basically,
don't bring up
that is his
Biden
MBS.
situations
He's running
like
for his
that?
life.
He's running for his
It also,
life.
does
Y'all try to
assume
extort
that
that
Trump
man.
is inevitably going to win once he has Elon's money behind him. And though I believe that money in politics
God
is
damn.
a colossal
Right.
problem.
Oh, yeah, no,
There is,
there's no
he is
California.
reliant.
Even than
he is,
outgunned.
he is, yes, but he is reliant on government contracts.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
If Joe Biden's reelected and Elon Musk has bankrolled Donald Trump,
That's a great
Then
point.
what do you do?
Tesla wasn't invited to the last EV summit at the White House. And, they won't be invited in
by the way,
2025.
what you're supposed to do with that money is to fund ground campaigns, mail campaigns, et cetera. They're already saying they're not going to do mail. Most of that money, let's be clear, is going to go to cure Donald Trump's personal financial.
Seemed like that was a
not
problem.
to the
She
ground
don't
Can
campaign.
I
know
just say
that.
one more thing about this because I actually find it
Pause.
like very usefully clarified.
I thought you can't use campaign donations for personal use. So how can they get on here and say that?
Well, you could probably, find a way to put it on there without letting
I'm
people
pretty
know.
sure that's illegal, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
It is illegal, but people.
Okay, so why would he
lot of things
already
illegal.
under all this scrutiny and close watch, and they're trying to pin 91 fake case on him? Why would he go and literally break the law where they can find something to typically or potentially disqualify him for? I just don't think that that's something he would do.
Little Fanny gonna pull that bit out and find a
Fanny's
way.
about to get disqualified. She actually just got caught lying under
She's
oath
good.
today. She actually
Campaigns,
just
mail
got caught.
campaigns, et cetera. They're already saying they're not going to do mail. Most of that money, let's be clear, is going to go to cure Donald Trump's
You don't know
personal
that.
financial
You don't know
issues,
that.
not to the ground campaign.
Can I just say one more thing about this because I actually find it like very usefully clarifying? Is it so much of the way that Donald Trump talks, so much of the way that our politics talk about, are these sort of like cultural signifiers, these points of like intense sort of ideological, rhetorical, demographic conflict in the country, the invaders coming over the border, the sort of Marxists that run the Democratic Party, they're trying to destroy the future. When in power, what Republican governments do is do policy that helps people like Elon Musk. They cut corporate taxes. It's the only domestic policy bill that they passed the last time around when they didn't build the wall. They had all three.
They did make it easier for people adjudicated to be mentally ill to buy firearms.
They also
did
did that.
that.
Right.
They was that.
They also got
They did do that. But to me, it's just like there's this whole, you're sort of watching Elon Musk like self-radicalize and online every day. His brain gets mushier and mushier and mushier.
Brain gets mushier.
And, there's part of this radicalization is like social media and his own ego. But again,
Pause.
when you look at
Bro, you
what
gotta let him
governments do,
ride,
bro.
local
You
governments,
know he gonna
state
talk.
governments,
Just
federal
let him
governments,
get
when
it
they have
out.
Republican and conservative governments with power, they deregulate, they go after unions, they cut taxes for rich people. And so there's something very clarifying about Elon Musk and Donald Trump together in the same room because it cuts through a lot of like the faux populism and culture war nonsense
What makes him
that
happy?
mask fundamentally the material interests that are being pursued by this.
But
And
that
it's
is also
so good.
why people often falsely say Republicans are good for the economy because in terms of deregulation, in terms of big business, that set will say a Republican is a safer bet for me.
For us, yes.
For us. And that's where that narrative comes from. You've even heard people say, well, if it's good for my boss, maybe it'll trickle down to me. It won't. But that's where the mindset comes from.
And by the way, what makes it perfect, chef's kiss perfect, is that the Supreme Court sits atop it all, trying to ensure the longevity of Republican government, because that is how they get their wonderful vacays. And they're going to do whatever they can to make sure that Donald Trump comes in so that those two grifters on the court, if I might say, can retire and have.
So much
she didn't go there.
I have so much to say.
She didn't go there.
So did you guys notice how they resorted to character attacks on Elon Musk because he potentially may do something against their political interests? The puppet masters, your plan is foiling. They're attacking Elon, calling his brain mushy. How can you say this guy's brain is mushy? He's the second richest person in the world.
That's what
he
I'm saying.
invented
That's
freaking
insane
electric cars that people drive. He has freaking SpaceX. You people have nothing on the same caliber. So you just get on TV and talk. So who are you to say he's a freaking mushy brain person? First of all, he's been to the border and seen the issues with his own eyes. The fact that someone of his caliber is putting a highlight on these issues should be more reason for more people to start waking up. Like, maybe I should do my own research and start looking into what he's saying. He's not trying to lead you astray. This guy's a free speech platform. People are saying bad things on his platform because you can say it, because it's free speech. So that alone should let you know this guy is not speaking out of his ass. Second off, why are they making it seem just because Elon and Trump is the biggest issue at hand? They're not addressing any issues at hand. They're talking like the economy's good. The economy's not good. Illegals are coming in and committing crimes.
That is true.
People are dying. Laken Riley just got murdered. Young future nurse of America was just murdered by an illegal immigrant. And now they're trying to push the narrative that we shouldn't condemn illegal immigrants. I've said since day one, guys, we should not have these people's back because they're not Americans. They're not our people. They're not one of us. I've said that. A string of crimes has been happening since these illegals got here. They're creating more problems and solving none.
If you believe anything these people are saying on this panel, I think that you have a serious problem.
They're having an agenda, and they're articulating their agenda very well and articulately. So someone who comes to the news to get informed and they hear this stuff and they don't do any outside research because they're living their life, paying their bills, handling other business, and this is where they come to get informed. I can see how this here could misinform somebody. Personally, I can see how.
If you don't think that saying Elon's brain is getting smaller, if that don't wake you up, oh, brother, you're a sheep.
The character attacks.
That was the worst thing I've ever heard.
I've noticed on the left. I've noticed on the left, they always, if you don't agree with their logic or go along with their narrative or you go against their status quo, they always resort to character attacks. It never fails. It never fails. Like, why can we not just disagree and still be on a respectable level without all the character attacks? Because at the end of the day, we literally are all on the same team. Politics is way too tribal.
That is true. That's why I don't understand it.
It's way too tribal.
Everybody
it's like,
one team.
Everybody act like it's us versus them. At the end of the day, we are all one people, the American people. We may have different mental approaches or different ideals on how we should solve the problems in America, but at the end of the day, we are one people. There needs to be a way we can come to a middle ground without all this. Look what he did. Look what he did. And it happens on both sides. I'm not gonna just say it's the Democrats. Liberals do it too. I mean, conservatives do it too. Personally, at the end of the day, we're all one people.
We should take out the Republican and Democrat. That would save it, and we had about, oh my God, remember that? That was a top probably 2 arguments.
I do remember that.
But that is against. That's.
I really don't think
a lot of stuff.
I don't think that would solve anything.
It might not, but you know what? These tactics, they helping and they team.
I just can't believe.
Anyway,
I just think people in this us versus them mentality is just never gonna win.
That's always gonna happen.
At the end of the day, we're all one people.
Yeah.
Safer bet for me.
For us, yes.
For us. And that's where that narrative comes from. You've even heard people say, well, if it's good for my boss, maybe it'll trickle down to me. It won't. But that's where the mindset comes from.
And by the way, what makes it perfect, chef's kiss perfect, is that the Supreme Court sits atop it all, trying to ensure the longevity of Republican government, because that is how they get their wonderful vacays. And they're going to do whatever they can to make sure that Donald Trump comes in so that those two grifters on the court, if I might say, can retire and have 30-year-old versions of themselves to replicate the grift.
I should just say, though, that in terms of the whole logic around there being like legal policing of this, like you shouldn't, ideally, in a democracy, have a multi-billionaire be able to come in and say, here are multiple billions of dollars to cover all your legal fees, to cover all your campaigning fees, and to set you up in a way that you can't lose. We technically shouldn't have that. But how do we police it? We police it by shame, right? Because it's speech. Money is speech, and therefore it's transparency. And so if all we can do is force disclosure of the funding, that will take care of itself, because people will be repulsed by this.
But Rachel,
And of course, shamelessness
is Donald Trump's superpower.
Yes.
Remember, back when we were saying this guy doesn't pay his taxes, and he said, you're right, I don't, because I'm smart. But not to Democrats. When Joe Biden was running, he said, I'm going to close so many loopholes so it won't just be shameful for Republicans to violate emoluments and so on and so forth. And they haven't. And if we end up with a Donald Trump again, like, it's no holds barred. MBS, come on over for a barbecue.
I'm just going to say that there is this idea when you study countries that used to be democracies that slid out of democracy and became authoritarian instead. One of the things that everybody who studies that in every country tells you is that the institutions cannot defend themselves. That's right. And we have set up our institutions so that their defense against authoritarian rule and anti-democratic tactics is shame and is transparency and is people knowing the information and being able to react accordingly. If that is all we've got, then our institutions will not defend our democracy. If we let things play out along these lines, our democracy will fall and we will become a country that doesn't have elections anymore. And so we're in a situation right now where we can't count on the existing structures to just do this on autopilot.
How dare y'all say that? Y'all just attack the Supreme Court for upholding democracy.
Or you have to pick Joe Biden.
Calling them grifters.
Isn't a magic other answer.
They're on TV grifting so they can get fancy vacations.
There is no institution.
Good job, Tennessee.
There's no magic in the media. There's people having to figure out which one of those candidates they want, what it means for the future of this country, and then going out and doing the work to make sure that that candidate wins. It means not only voting, it means literally doing what you can to make one of those two candidates win. And if you're not
that's just for the
one of them,
Democrats.
you are by default.
By the way,
It's all we've got.
What the Biden campaign folks said, they're sending out two words tonight: cementing reality. And what you just said is what they're saying. They're saying what tonight was about was cementing the reality that it's Biden or Trump. And what Joe Biden was able to do is to clear 80% in almost all of these races to cement that reality. They're hoping that emotionally they can cement that reality for their voters, because their voters are the ones who are most fantasy prone when it comes, more so than Republicans, but Republicans are more disconnected from each other. They are actually having a fight that's bigger than the fight inside the Democratic Party. You just have some Democrats who would love for Donald Trump, for Joe Biden to change his militancy. And that Republicans are going to take care of this problem, this Donald Trump problem on their own side? Not going to happen. It's not happening.
I think it's the opposite, man. I think the left is having real issues because a lot of people don't like Donald.
I can't say that, though.
A lot of people don't like Joe Biden, and a lot of people don't like that far left trans stuff that are on the left too.
But you gotta remember, nobody
and they don't like these illegals.
Nobody ran against him.
I don't. That's my number one issue.
Think about that. Nobody ran against him though. I can see that point. Nobody ran against Biden.
Nobody really ran against Biden, and even Trump was running against somebody and was still getting more votes.